So, which brings me to your current work on, customer base audit. A brilliant book, I must say. I've read it, cover to cover, and I think you really talk about one very interesting aspect there, which is to say, forget the prediction, talk about simple descriptive analytics, and talk to us about it because there's so much of hype around prediction algorithms, and you keep saying, you know what, just go for the simple stuff, think about the present, don't think about the future. So
Yep.
lovely point that you made there. So what makes you believe that's so critical?
So let's first take a step back and let's acknowledge, for folks who aren't familiar with my work, I am a forecasting guy. I love making predictions. That's what I do. That's what's the joy that I have is to make predictions and be held accountable on them. But I recognize that before we come up with predictions, before we argue about models and forecasts and validation and all that stuff, let's walk before we can run. Let's look at the data that we have and really understand it. Let's have the data motivate us, push us to start predicting things. So let's just look at the data. Let's be unashamedly descriptive. Let's just look at the data that we have, look for the patterns about how customers differ from each other, understand how customers change over time, all in a purely descriptive way through the 5 lenses that we describe in the book. And once you see those patterns, you can't unsee them. And once you see them, you're going to start. It's going to force you to say, I wonder what's going to happen next. So let me get below that observed data and start to tell a story about the true underlying propensities of people to do things and to drop out and so on. Build that model, come up with the forecast, understand how the descriptive analysis from the audit fits hand in hand with the predictive and prescriptive analyses that will come out of the models. And I think it's going to make it both easier and more important for companies to do the descriptive work and give them cover, give them resources to build the model. So it all fits well together, but man cannot live by models and forecasts alone.